It is.
Welcome back, everybody. This is United vs. Everybody. I am Sean, and joining me again, once again, for the weekly Kickabout is Christian. Dylan. Dylan, how are we doing today, man?
Hello, everyone. I hope you are doing well. Don't
Dylan is
worry,
bad.
got my Ericsson jersey on too, just to make it
There it
make it
is.
true.
Your jersey. Dylan is pretty much a regular part of the show these days. You guys know that. He is always here. He is hanging out. He is gracing us with his presence once again. And we're thankful for that. We always enjoy Dylan taking time out of his day to not only join us live, but to just do the prep, because there's a bit of prep that goes into these kind of things. I don't just like to, Dylan is a teacher, as you guys didn't need to know. But obviously, if you've been here before for the Kickabout, it's pretty chill vibe. We're kind of recapping the United news, rumors, links from the last week. Obviously, within the last couple of days, we've had a couple more news and rumors pop up. So, of course, we'll be talking about the fresh stuff again. So we're going to talk goalkeepers as we head into preseason, talk a little Sancho, talk a little striker situation, get some ideas on what's going on with this Axel Twanzebe bullshit. And I've got a scouting report for you all on a youngster that we've been linked with these last couple of days as well. So jam-packed tonight. Make sure you like the video before we dive in, you guys. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Check those memberships to learn how you can get involved in the content that we put out, including joining in on the Kickabout to talk about a couple things. That Legends membership isn't just so you get a cool little emoji. Legends membership does get you access to join in the Kickabout for a hot second and share your thoughts as we jump along. So keep that in mind, you guys. I try to hook you guys up as much as I can. So let me get, as first and foremost, let me dive into the chats just to see who's jumping in today. Stephanie, big up. Stephanie, back with the old account. Like it, love it. Love to
How you
see
doing,
it.
Steph?
Danny B in the house, my Irish brother from another mother, the South American scout extraordinaire, the SAS. I'm going to start calling him now. So big up, yes.
Danny
Please hit
B.
that like button.
We need to put
So
that as like his name tag, like Danny B, the SAS or something.
the SAS, the South American scout, the Irish brother from another mother, my Beantown boss. Why don't we dive into the fun news first and foremost? Let's kick off with a little bit of fun news, you guys. First and foremost, Christian Eriksen is returning to Old Trafford, y'all. No, I'm just kidding. Dylan, we have a fun little announcement. I've been hinting at it all week. I mentioned it the other day. Do you want to tell them, or do you want me to tell them?
You go ahead and tell him, Sean.
I'm going to go and tell them, well, Dylan and I are going to be taking the Kickabout on the road to Manchester this season, you guys. As you guys know, I go to Manchester once a year, at least I try to. Dylan is going to join me this year. We are taking this motherfucker on the road. Dylan, this is your first time going to Manchester, right?
Oh yeah, this is something I've dreamed of doing. Just being a United fan, going to England, seeing a match, and this is going to be big because we're going to see two.
Yeah, you're not seeing one, you're seeing two. But Dylan and I are going to be going to the Wolves match and the Newcastle match at home at the end of December. We are waiting to see what the academy fixtures look like, but when those get announced, if that lines up to, we are going to squeeze in an academy match like Justin and I did this past January. But we are for sure going to a couple Premier League matches. Dylan's going to go check out the museum tour. We're going to kick it downtown. We're going to show him all the good spots. So as we're going along, you guys, if you have any good spots, any recommendations, Dylan's going to the Blaze. You got to have a Bishop Blaze experience. We're going to Nag's Head. We're doing it all, man. Football museum. We're getting it all going. And the Guinness will flow like the rains of Mount Olympus. I'm telling you right now. But I'm excited for you. Are you guys excited? You hit that like button and subscribe if you guys are excited for Dylan to get to go to his first Old Trafford experience, you guys.
This is going to be so much fun.
Yes.
Like we were talking about before, it still hasn't hit me because I'm like in shock that it's actually happening because I figured this was going to be like way later in the future.
So, big up, Rob, always United. Our newest member, big up. Welcome to the channel, man. We appreciate that. Just became a member. I love that, man. Thank you for helping this community grow. We love the absolute legend. Big up. Amir, welcome. Says Glory, Glory, Man United forever. Yes, big up, Amir. Welcome to the channel. Yeah. Box in the house. Big up, Box. Good to see you again. Hope you're doing well, my friend. You guys digging the new drip here? I just got this in the mail yesterday. I was just showing this off to Dylan. This is that George Best number that they came out with earlier this season. Scoped this guy out. I actually, this fits so well. Like I can't even, this is exactly how I like this shit to fit. So I'm excited about that. But big up, everybody. Amir says, I am fans, supporters united. Almost 15 years. Big up, man. Box, I'm not going to lie. Part of me is mostly excited for that than anything else on this trip.
I'm excited too. I want to see what happens.
You guys remember that Jamie Vardy impersonator that was making appearances at like parties and shit? I feel like we're going to have to set aside a couple hours for people who invite us to the bar or something.
Oh, yeah.
Dylan, I guarantee you're going to get stopped like all the time, dude. It's going to be hilarious. I'm excited. I'm gonna take photos of you. How are you with that kind of stuff? Anyway, like, are you like, honestly, like my wife asks me sometimes. She's like, "What are you ever gonna do if someone recognizes you?" I'm like, first of all, this channel is so small, no one's gonna recognize me. But I'm so socially awkward and introverted. I would just make like weird. I wouldn't know what to do with my hands and stuff. Mm-hmm. I'd be like, like, what would that be like for you if people actually started like trying to get photos of you and whatnot?
Oh, I'd totally be into it. But the honest part of me would have to be like, I'm not Christian Eriksen, right? Like I will try to sell it just for the joke, but like I can't. No. I couldn't honestly do it. But if they want to play along, we will play along. So,
they will still mob you. They will still take photos, whether they're just because you look like Christian Eriksen, they'll do it. So big up, you guys. You guys are funny. Amir is just so modest tonight. Big up, Amir. I love the modesty. That's probably your best quality so far, Amir.
Love it.
Samuel says, you two can try to speak Mancunian. What's all that there then? Huh? Go on, son. Have another go. You got to have a little like nasalness to your voice when you have the Mancunian accent. There's that little nasalness kind of a thing. Like when I think Mancunian accent, I think of, you guys ever watch Trevor Paddock? I think Jay Motti, like that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Big up, Justin. Big up, Justin, for getting involved. Yes, the jersey is fire, man. I'm absolutely involved. Here's a little something for Justin when he jumps on the channel, because Justin always gets one of those. But big up, Justin. I'm just going through the chats right now, so just to make sure I get caught up, man. Box says that looks nice. Dude, honestly, this thing is it. So it doesn't fit like a normal shirt. It kind of fits a little bit like a player issue. It's like it's in between the authentic and the fan. So this is a medium. It's a little tighter than like a fan version of a medium, but it's not as tight as like the authentic mediums, if that makes sense. For those of you who are well versed in jersey fitting lore, the authentics do fit a little differently than the fan version. So, but big up. Sam says you can get a beer in hotel football. Dude, honestly, Dylan, yeah, we'll go to hotel football before the match as well. We'll go up to the roof so you can check it out because it's pretty lit up there. Yeah. So I'm just going through these chats here. Mm-hmm. Amir says Cunha, Xerxes, Wemo, perfect trio. Well, hopefully we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on here today. We already got a new member in the chat. Rob Always United is our newest Academy member, so big up Rob Always as well. Samuel says, hopefully you two can meet some United 11s. I mean, maybe.
I'm going to get backstage passes to everything just showing up. So
you're just going to get free access to everything. Drinks. That's really what I'm taking you for, just free drinks.
Just so we can keep drinking on.
Samuel, last time I went, Samuel, not this past year, the year before, I did meet Nemanja Vidic. He was on my flight, and so I did get a photo and chatted with him for a hot second. So that was pretty cool. That trip happened to coincide with a speaking event that he was doing in Manchester. So I got super lucky there. Honestly, the whole out of that whole little meeting him, I was actually very upset that nobody else was like recognizing him. I was really upset about that. So, but it is what it is. Caught up with the chats now. Let's get stuck in. The away kit has launched. I put a poll in the chat. What's jersey are you guys most excited for this year? The home, the away, the third, or none? They're all rubbish. Of the three for this season, I mean, Dylan, what out of the three so far? I mean, the third hasn't been released, but we kind of know what it looks like. Oh, yeah. Which one are you most excited for?
So I would have said the third because it's black and gold. It's got that heritage mark there, stretching back to the 90s. But then I re-looked at the away one, and then my favorite color is purple. So looking at the plum stripe they have on there, I'm kind of leaning towards the away kit now. So it's not It's not as good as some other kits have been in the past, but it's still clean. I like the
Yeah.
purple favorite color, so I'm biased. I think I'm gonna go away kit. The home kit doesn't really do anything. It looks nice, but it's the away kit or it's the
Yeah.
home kit. So.
Like I've said before, I feel like all three kind of there's like one thing about all three that keeps them from being a little like perfect in my opinion. Like the away one though, the one that was just released today, that's probably the one I
Mm-hmm.
dislike the least because it just. But I feel like even though it still looks nice, I feel like it's just kind of lazy a bit. I feel like it's because how many years have we seen that basic same concept of the like the trefoil leaf turned to the diagonal and kind of like we've seen that several times. So I'm not saying I don't like it. I just think it's a little unimaginative. I think it's a little
Mm-hmm.
lazy from Adidas. It's the same. It's just like, oh, let's grab it by the corner and make it bigger this time. That'll make it look different. The home in third, like I said, like the black one, it's like for me, it's like there's one thing about them that just keeps them from. So like the home, I don't know. I'm so mad that we're out of all the Adidas shirts, we're like the only one who didn't get that cool throwback collar from like the mid
Yeah.
2000s. Like everybody else has got it except for us. It's so annoying, and that I think would have just elevated it. And then the
Yep.
third, I don't really like the little devil imprints in the
Mm-hmm.
stripes as well. I feel like that, like they're not like bad. It's too busy for me. I'd prefer if it was just the black and then the charcoal without the little devil prints. But again, it's subjective, so it is what it is. But yeah, so you guys can get your hands on that away strip if you guys want. Amir is just going crazy, dude. I don't know what language that is, my guy. So hopefully you're not swearing, dude, but pick it up. Samuel says, hopefully Inos can do their job and sign some players. Well, there's a lot that goes into that. Finances, PSR, we got to sell players. You guys know. I mean, we've talked about it many times in the last couple of weeks. Remember last summer we were in a sell to buy situation as it was, and then we've only spent more money since. We haven't really sold anybody else. So it stands to reason then that we've got less money than we would have. And yeah, a lot of that is on Ineos. They gave Ten Hag a new contract. They paid to sign Ashworth and then paid to sack both of them. So they do play a role in that. So it is what it is. But what are you going to do? So, but you guys get involved in the chat. What's the chat saying in the poll so far? So far, 55% of the people are going with the home strip. Yeah, the home strip's not bad, but it could have been better. But it is what it is. How are you doing, man? You doing all right?
Doing all right, man. Just we were talking beforehand that the heat's killing me.
Yeah, it's muggy as shit today, man. My grandparents, I had to help my grandparents move some stuff before I got here, and they don't really have AC in their house, so it's just bleh all over. So it is what it is.
I got to about 1 o'clock, and I was just like, I'm just going to move slow the rest of the day because my energy's just gone.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, it says it's only supposed to be like 80, but it's so muggy. It's just it's disgusting. It feels like a greenhouse outside. Box says, "What's the third kit?" Google it real quick, Box, and you'll see what it looks like. It's supposed to be a throwback to this one. It's black. It's got like blue and yellow collar accents. It's got like black and like charcoal stripes, but there's like these little devil prints in the stripes. So just Google it. You'll see it, and then you let me know what you think. But let's kick off with some news because we got a little bit of Embuemo news all over this. It's all over the place. Sometimes it's direct Embuemo news. Sometimes it's you got to look at like what Brentford are doing, and that's kind of where this kicks off today. Is apparently Brentford have had a 35 million bid rejected for Amari Hutchinson, and so I don't know if you saw that today. Sometimes that is a big indicator that a club is trying to replace a player. I haven't checked recently, but I know that you could not get Embuemo's name and number set on any of the jerseys on Brentford's website. So I haven't checked that in the last week or so, but last time I checked, you couldn't do that. But apparently, so they could have paid like a release clause, but I think that release clause for Hutchinson expired now. And now Ipswich are digging in their heels because they don't want to sell Hutchinson at all. Apparently, he wants to join Brentford, and Fabrizio Romano reckons these are going to return for another bid that breaks the transfer record. I mean, how do you feel about that? I read that and I laugh because it's not so funny when it happens to you. It's karma, bitches.
Yeah, exactly. Good on Ipswich. I'm just going to say that. And maybe that's Kieran helping us out a little bit there, so giving them an old FU to Brentford for not getting the
Yeah,
work
man.
done. We, yeah, I'm hoping if they're going to buy somebody like Hutchinson, that's got to mean we're close on the Embuemo deal, because otherwise,
Yeah.
I'm I'm real frustrated at this point. I was hoping this was
Are
done a
you?
month ago. And now I'm like, don't wait. I don't want a last minute transfer. I don't want any of that like we did historically done. I want this stuff done. I want our attack ready to flow
Yeah.
because we need the goals. We're gonna need the goals. So
Well, I think in like Jamie Jackson reported today too, that again, like I've said many times, Brentford keep moving the goalposts here in terms of what they're demanding.
mhm.
And Jamie Jackson reported today that they've upped their asking price to like a 70 million package. And I'm like, and people are just like, they're like, why aren't Ineos doing this? Just get it done. I'm like, Brentford are literally changing their mind every time we go sit down at the table. And I can't, like, if I'm one of these United guys, I'd be flipping that conference table over every time. I'd be like, you got to be kidding me.
Mhm.
Like, this is ridiculous, man. Um, Graham Bailey had this to say today as well. Go ahead. What were you saying?
Box just said Embuemo is back on the Megastore.
Oh, is it? Brentford
Uh,
playing games, bro.
all righty then.
Did big up. Thank you, Box, for go checking that. Like I said,
Box.
I haven't looked at it. So Graham Bailey had this to say today as well. United are very frustrated, as is the player in Buemo. The guaranteed money is the main obstacle still. This was seen as a minor issue 2 weeks ago, yet that is still the main problem. United are telling Embuemo they still fully expect him to be on their preseason tour. So all sorts of back and forth, conflicts, minds changing. Like Bach says, now you can get Embuemo again. Danny says Ineos' first bid was pathetic. Yeah, most of the time the first bid's always gonna like it. Honestly, Ineos treated that the same way I treat my eBay bids. You know what this was listed for? 65. You know what I got it for? 38.
Nice.
I'm such a cheap little bitch on eBay, man. I swear. Oh man. I don't even care. I'm here for it. And I can get like a lot of money off of shit. I'm gonna do it. So but I don't have a problem with that. Most clubs are gonna do that. I mean, it is what it is, but you are. I mean, it was pathetic, but you kind of expect it. Everybody kind of does that. Um, so what do you think, Dylan? Matter of time? You think we'll walk away? What would you want? What would you do? What would you prefer us to do?
uh, I think we're going to stick with it, and I think it's a matter of time before it gets done. Um, I'm at the point now. If we don't, we're if I was them and we're not going to get it done in the next week or so, I'm walking away
Yeah,
because we can't. We have other needs to get. We need midfielders. We're probably, as we're going to talk about later, might need a goalkeeper, maybe some more defensive help, or maybe two midfielders, whatever we're going to do. But we need other reinforcements, and we can't just sit and wait like we've done in the past, pay inflated prices, and then just be SOL at the end of the window. So
yeah. But what you're saying, you're kind of putting out like the dichotomy here when it comes to this situation, like just pay and get it done, or like walk away or something and everyone's going to be like, well, we waited this far, like we can't just walk away. But I'm like, what's more important, getting that player, or not getting bent over barrels, so we don't perpetuate this message that has been around for well over a decade, that we're the one who are going to get clowned in the transfer market. Like,
yeah,
it's hard. I don't think there is a right answer. And I think that within every conversation about this with United fans, everybody sort of contradicts themselves a little bit, within the same breath almost at the same time. And I think that's hard. Now Graham Bailey goes on in this article to claim that United are not going to be pressured and we're prepared to be patient. But at the same time, he says, they're kind of saying that they're expecting to be on their preseason tour. And that starts, what is that, next weekend? Is that when that's going down?
yes, because
We
they
play
play
Leeds, right?
Leeds Saturday. So
Okay.
I think
So,
after that, then they go to America. So
and so it could, I mean, and obviously he could fly out whenever, but I mean, Graham Bailey's not like everyone's top go-to source for information, but at the same time, it's a big name. But again,
yeah,
I don't know, a month seems pretty patient to me. So I'm like,
same
I mean,
here.
yeah, it's ridiculous, man. But again, this is just another example of Brentford kind of being little pricks about it. So again, it's to
Yep.
lend some balance to the situation. It's not just United haggling and being cheap. It's Brentford are literally just changing their expectations. So, like Danny says, though, maybe because that first bid is pathetic, maybe that was a bit of an insult, and now they're kind of pushing back a little bit. I don't know.
That could be.
Buck says Gittins 50 million, Alanga 55, Pedro 60 million, Madueke. Yeah, I forgot about Madueke going to Arsenal. That should be like the minimum for Garnacho then if we sell Garnacho to a Premier League club.
Oh yeah.
Like, right?
Yep.
Samuel says something that I've said a couple
times.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be a minimum, right? I mean, it's that you're setting the standard. Because if Brentford are going to do that, like, this is how much you paid for Cunha, and this is how much Spurs paid for this is what Spurs bid was. Like we got to be able to get a piece of that pie.
Yep.
What do you make of this from Samuel?
I like it. If Emblemo really wants this transfer, he should totally be doing that.
Yeah, I've said that a couple times. Like, I'm not saying you got to go the full Gyökeres route and stuff, but you can basically, like, put in an official request or something, or do something to help the club that you supposedly want to go towards. Like, I mean, all you've done so far is, and yes, it's a big deal, but you basically said, like, United's my number one choice. I don't want to go anywhere else. And so that's why we have a pretty free run. It's probably why we're being patient, is because this is what we're told now. Like Box is saying, you can get his jersey on Brentford again. So I don't know what that means. Brentford are playing games, but if they're putting in like literally record-breaking bids for Hutchinson, that's a big deal. So, but yeah, I don't know what else you can do really from that point of view. Let me get in charge. Let me get back in here. So Danny says 65 with add-ons to 70 was never overpaying. Yeah, I think Carl Anka has said it again, if you watch anything from The Athletic, but he said, like, if there's ever a player like right now that you pay a little bit of a premium for, it's Mbeumo. So how do you feel about doing that?
If it's going to get it done, fine. I want him to get into the team so he can get going. But like, we can't keep doing this. It's just frustrating at this point.
Yeah, it's getting to a point where I'm like, I care a little less about paying a few more million and more about like, this is turning into another Harry Maguire where we're going on all summer and we're just going to end up paying exactly what they wanted in the first place. Just get it done. Like, City didn't care when they dropped the hundo on Grealish. Like, they just did it because they can. Now we are skint a little bit and we do have PSR, but at the same time, I'm like, if this is your guy, just get it done, and then you can focus on getting some of these other players out, however that needs to happen, right? Ugh.
Yep.
Buck says, and Mbeumo can easily play as the 9 as well. Yeah, so can Cunha too. He's versatile, goal scorer, crucial. Yeah, I think that we've got two. In Cunha and Mbeumo, they're two of the best attackers in the Premier League right now. I mean, I think people are disregarding that. So not disregarding it, but I think they're almost losing sight of that fact. Like, these are two of the best attackers in the last couple of years in the Premier League, like, hands down. So I think that shows that the ambition is there, right? That the plan is actually a little higher level than it has been, like, under Ten Hag and whatnot, where we were getting like Malacias and Anthony's and whatnot. Oh boy. Danny says Ineos are maybe stalling because they save money on wages. I mean, this is that free lunch money that we're getting here now. We should be able to get something. And we've got the sell-ons from Elanga, from Alvaro, from Oyedele as well. So, like, that should be enough to kind of put it over the line. But, I mean, it's not my money. So we'll hold off our whole judgment until at the end of this transfer window, right, when you and I come back and rip them apart, basically.
Yep.
Oh, boy. Nishifan, welcome to the channel. New chat says new member, big up. The shirt is available on the website. Interesting, but he goes on. This person goes on to say at this point, I'm confident the deal isn't happening. Ineos are either completely inept or something strange is happening behind the scenes. I think this has more to do with Brentford than anything, and maybe, like Danny pointed out, our first bid was pathetic. Maybe Brentford were a little insulted, but do you think it's still happening, Dill?
I want to believe it. Yeah, I still think we're probably going to be in on them because nobody else is making a bid at them. So I think it's just kind of stalling. It's kicking everything about and all that stuff. But the longer this goes on, the more suspect I get, the more
Yeah.
frustrated I get. So,
I'll put it
uh,
in the chat. I feel like I've done this so many times in so many different deadlines. When we get him over the line before this weekend, when we get him in line before preseason
mhm.
starts, now I've got to go, hey, will we get him Buemo before the preseason tour? So y'all let me know in the chat what you think about that. I'll let you guys kind of roll that around because we're gonna shift gears to the other end of the pitch and talk about keepers here in a second because obviously we got some big news going into the
Okay.
preseason about oh no and whatnot. Let me get caught up in this chat real quick. Nubis, welcome back, brother. United always playing games like this should have just paid the asking price. And see, that's the thing though. Like, I'm sorry to interrupt the middle, but like, we can say that. We can say like, oh, United always do this, but this is a totally different recruitment team now. Like, this is a different recruitment team. Yes, it feels very similar, but I feel like when it's a totally different recruitment team, we almost can't say like, oh, same old thing because it is and it isn't at the same time. If that makes sense, does that make sense? Am I just waffling? I don't know.
No,
You
that makes
guys
sense.
tell me. I do like waffles. Pay the asking price first time around, like to do with Turkey, but no. Yes, I don't. And I got to say this again. I don't really think we should be using teams like City and Chelsea as the measuring stick for what to do and what not to do in the transfer market, if that makes sense. Um, because City just are holding up two middle fingers to the rest of football, and Todd Bowley is literally selling everything he can get his hands on just to to himself, basically, to make sure that they can afford everything. Dylan, can you do me a favor when you get a hot second? Is there, and maybe if there's like a ceiling light or something? Um,
I
in
tried the backlights and those didn't work.
Oh no,
Yep.
that's all right. Thank you, bro. I just want to make sure we can see the Christian Eriksen. There he is in all this
Yeah.
Christian Eriksen glory.
Yeah.
Much
I
better.
figured
Yes.
those backlights
Sorry.
on would be fine,
Oh,
but apparently,
the backlights do the opposite actually because
oh,
they make the front dark. So if you
didn't,
had them in
didn't
front
you
of you, it'd be
want just
different.
to have the halo effect around me? So,
We're going for like the ominous like Undertaker
yes.
trend going on here. Um, Big Nuba says at this rate, just go after Rodrigo. Give me Rodrigo, give me Lunin, give me it all, man. Box says we can afford it now. We
Mm-hmm.
have two Oyedele. We've got a bit. We've got like what 15, 60 million altogether from the three sell-ons there, which
Yeah.
I mean should be just say like, you know what, take a little bit from that and get it done. Um, Niche fan says, and Buemo isn't happening. In fact, I think the whole thing was a distraction from the beginning. We don't want to, or maybe don't have the money to spend. I mean, I agree with you on that second part, but we have made several bids already. And, you know, everybody from Romano to Ornstein, whoever, you know, that's who we're focusing on right now. But I do think you're right in that the funds are we're scraping the bottom of the piggy bank. We've like broken all sorts of piggy banks. Like we're checking all the couches and stuff and the suites and stuff and for trying to get a couple more things. So Danny is just throwing down the gauntlet here, drawing a line in the sands. Is honestly finished with everything. If we don't, hopefully not finished with everything, my guy. But if we don't get in Buemo, it will definitely be a bit of an embarrassing situation if we don't get in Buemo over the line after all this,
Oh,
because
yeah.
you got to wonder like who was our plan B without Embuemo then? Was it another Premier League player in a similar position? Will we pivot to a completely different position? Is there like what? Let's say hypothetically we walk away from Embuemo. What do you think, or what would you do next?
Are you
That was a
asking me
question.
or?
Yeah, I was
Oh,
asking
sorry.
you.
I thought
No,
that was part of your point. Man. Yeah, I'm. Honest. I mean, if we don't get Embuemo done, I'm going to pivot. I would pivot to the midfield
Yeah,
because I mean, we know that strengthening. But that's just me. So
yeah. There's
it
not like
seems that
many
would have been
strikers
my
left,
plan B. No, there's really not. I mean, we can probably talk about that a little bit later, but
right? Yeah.
yeah, there's just
So
not a lot we can do if we don't get Embuemo. So
yeah, pivoting the midfield. I mean, there are quite a few midfielders. You can get a couple midfielders if you're going to pivot, but I do feel like
yeah.
if we don't get Embuemo now, it's now or never. Almost, it's freaking annoying.
Mm-hmm.
So Nish fan is just trying to score points with Danny B in the chat. I see you, Nish fan. He's trying to score them Danny B brownie points, man. Oh man. Danny says fair play to Bowley, proper owner. I mean, I guess it really comes down to what you prioritize as a fan. I know it's hard sometimes as fans. We're like, on one hand, we're like, I hear so many fans who are like, we just want players on the pitch. We don't care about all the behind the scenes stuff. But then in the same breath, some United fans are like, the Sheik would have paid the debt. Like, you can't have it both ways. Either you care about the debt or you don't care about the debt. Either you want to buy players or you want us to stop being taken advantage of in the market. You want us to stop overpaying. You can't really have it. And it's not even at this point having it both ways. People are wanting it like 4 ways at once, which, hey, family show, we don't do that here. But it's just a little, I just don't get it sometimes. Fox says we got 1 milli from Hannibal getting, I forgot about Hannibal. Was at Burnley now, and 4 million from McTominay winning. See, we're just making that money, and we haven't even had to sell players yet, man. We're just doing one of these numbers. I like it. Anubis says, what's with the news about United offering the academy players to other clubs? Is this an indication that United... I told you, Anubis, we are broke. And, well, 2 things. I didn't really feel like talking about that because that's just what you do with a lot of academy players. We know that, not every academy player is going to break through the first team. Not every academy player is going to be Premier League level, English football level. That's just part of what happens. Some academy players are wanting to go off and do other things. We don't quite think they're, so we're going to sell them. I mean, that's pretty normal. It's a very small percentage of the academy players are gonna do that. So I guess I saw that earlier. I didn't really see it as anything that doesn't happen like throughout all football. So Niche fan says, I live in the UK, boycotted Ineos hand soap. But yeah, I know Ineos make a lot of shit, don't they? I don't know what else they make. They make a lot of stuff, but let's see here. Nubis says, yeah, I would push Bruno to the right 10, get Rios and Hackney. You see, now you're trying to get brownie points from me mentioning Hayden Hackney. All hail Hayden Hackney.
I saw that, and I was like, Sean's going to get to that, and he's going to be happy.
Just went from 6 to midnight reading that. Big up Nubis for pushing all the right buttons. Yeah, I think, like you're saying, if we don't get Mbeumo, maybe, see, now you got it.
It took me a second.
Maybe we push him like Bruno back to the 10, and then because if Mbeumo comes, Bruno's playing in a deeper role. Like, let's just have it right. That's where he's going to play.
100%. Yeah.
So maybe I can see that world happening where if we do walk away, hypothetically, Bruno shifts back forward, and then we pivot to like a Hackney, like a Rios, something like that. And then you still got Ugarte, you still got Casemiro, Manu, Collier as well. We can't forget about Mount and Xerxes and all this situation too, because we still got those guys kicking around too. So Samuel wants to know, does United need a right back? Do you think we need a right back?
Not the most pressing issue right now. If we can throw Mizraoui on the right wing back, Ahmad's probably going to start there. Delo can play over there. So
yeah, it's a matter of priorities right now. Because like you're saying, we've got Dallo, we've got Mezrao, we've got Ahmad. Dorgu can play on the right as well if needed. I would like to see Camus and Montato maybe get in and around the first team a little bit here and there just to get some minutes. And then we've got Leon, Amos as well. We've got a lot of players in those wingback positions now. Whether or not all these players are qualities, that's a whole separate discussion. But it's kind of like center back. It's even kind of like midfield to a degree. Yes, we need a midfield, but we've got like 5 in the first team right now. And so unless we sell some players, which I don't think is going to happen, like Casemiro is probably going to walk for free in a year. That's just the way it is. Oh, yeah. I wonder what happens with Ugarte these days. So Fox says we need a left back as well, goalkeeper, center back, 2 center midfields, 10 center forward, and a partridge in a pear tree. We need all of them. We're going to talk a little bit about left back later on because we got links again to another one. But Nish fan says I'd pivot to sacking Brentford completely and us signing Amari Hutchinson behind their back. That would be hilarious. And he would be like a half the price of Brian Mbeumo too. Now he's not as good as Brian Mbeumo, but it would be hilarious if they're going to dig in and say, "Hey, now we got him." And Mbeumo will probably still leave at that point. And then that would be funny. But big up, Rob in the house. Big up, Rob. Good to see you again, my friend.
Rob.
I hope you're doing well. Absolute legend. Big up. Rob, always United, getting involved here. Let me get caught up here. Boxes. I think that means the players that won't feature in the future, like Bennett, Mather, Sharp, Ennis. Yeah, some of these players went on loan already as well, and so we'll see. Now I read who just went on loan recently. It was it Oganai who just went on loan
That sounds
to
right.
someone? Someone let me know in the chat if that's who it was. I saw in the chat. I can't remember. Danny wants to know if it's true Amorim has fallen out with VTech. I don't know how you could fall out with someone that you don't even know. He's never even played for us under Amorim. Interesting. Rob is refusing to sell. Interesting. Refusing to sell Garnacho, give the kid another chance. Another chance to do what? Mouth off on social media? Flip off random camera people at events? Like, have you seen how many times this kid has flipped off the camera? Like, is that what kids do now, Dylan?
Yeah.
Does it mean something different? Like how in the old days, like bad meant good, is flipping off something is that saying hi now?
Now that I don't know. I've always taken it as disrespectful. But
you're a teacher. You're supposed to be down with the kids. You're supposed to be street, man. What are you doing?
I just don't have the same level of understanding I used to.
I thought you were a cool teacher.
I am, but I use all the slang in the wrong manner, and they hate it, but I love it.
Jeez, yeah, that's funny. Now Samuel, see, everyone's trying to like win some points with Danny B here right now, man. I do like Tobias though. Tobias is a good center back. Amir is just going crazy out here. I like hit that like button. Yes, Rob, do here. Do hit that like button. Algio free. That's the one I was thinking of. Thank you, Box. I thought I saw Oganai was going something because I did see Algio. I think it was Oganai as well, but big up. Amir says, show your communication skills, bro, at your channel because many of you not understand talking. I don't really know what to do with that. So, yep, that's what I was thinking of, Oganai, Newport County. Yep. Big up, Box, on top of it. Keep an eye on the Academy youngsters for me. Big up. Mish fan says, I heard you can play as a negotiation team on EAFC. Apparently, Man United is the only team the feature doesn't work on. Nice. Big up, man. Samuel says, give Alejandro Garnacho to Aston Villa or Chelsea. I mean, maybe sell them. Maybe not give him, but we can sell them.
Don't give him.
All right, I'm caught up here. Let me get back up. All right, so let's talk about goalkeeper stuff because obviously we got this Onana injury news. I mean, some people, I've seen some United fans like celebrating it. I don't think you should ever celebrate any player getting injured, especially not one of your own players personally, but what is this doing for us going into preseason? The injury was almost supposed to be like almost 6 to 8 weeks, and now the reports is he's responding well to treatment. Onana could be back in as early as a month. But the question is, what goes on for preseason? Obviously, it's preseason. It doesn't necessarily mean something is set in stone. But I put the poll out the other day. Who would people like to see start this first preseason game between the sticks? Who would be your pick to start?
I mean, if my pick to start the preseason game would definitely be VTech because we've given Bayendir a chance. But I've wanted an academy keeper to come in since Henderson was there, and I've watched some of VTech. I've liked what I've seen. I think he's confident. He's as I've got here. I'm just going to. This is a quote because I was doing a little research on VTech beforehand. So me wanting the academy presence. This is from Tommy Lee, who's the lead academy keeper coach for the under 21s. His quotes are, he maximizes every part of the program that they put it in. So that tells me there's a lot of character there. There's a lot of work ethic. He's going to represent not only himself, but the club well. And he does everything right. Tommy Lee continues on. He says, nutrition, gym, analysis. He's a consummate professional. Where have we not had that in the club? In the first team with some of those players.
Yeah.
We bring somebody like that in to be the captain in between the sticks, boss defense around. You put him with Nietzsche in the other one. Oh man, that could be really something to see. So I want to see VTech see what he does.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone's watched any highlights from VTech from his loan, but the kid is an absolute he's comes off his line. He makes himself big. He's got really good reflexes. He commands his area really, really well. I mean, when I say he's got really good reflexes, I'm talking like De Gea against Arsenal back in like 2017, 2018 level reflexes. Like maybe he was before that. Maybe it was like 16, 17. Talking when he was making saves like back to back to back saves left and right from like within. That's what I've seen from Vitek on loan. Now it looks like Vitek could be set to be the guy to go, according to Pete Hall, who says he's set to start our first game of the tour in New Jersey on July 27th. Onana's out. So interesting. How important is preseason for goalkeepers, though?
I think to get the motion down, to get the rhythm of the game a little bit, because it's not going to go. The pace isn't going to be the same, but to get back in that mentality of what you have to do in between the sticks, I mean that's going to be key. And if this report's right and VTech's going to start in New Jersey, which is going to be a big setting, that's kind of telling on where that might go, especially with Onana.
I'm just concerned. Go ahead.
I was going to say, which kind of sucks for Bayendier because this could have been his chance too, but I don't think he's going to be necessarily in the plans.
I don't know if Bayendier's had his chance, in my opinion. I haven't seen it. He had like that Arsenal match was pretty decent, but everything else has just been god awful. Like I wake up in a cold sweat sometimes thinking about that Newcastle match. Hopefully it goes differently when you and I are there in December because Newcastle they just have our number these days. But like I asked, like, how important is it almost in this context as well? Because does it really matter who starts on a preseason tour? Because if Onana's still here, Onana's going to be our number one, right? So, I say that not because I like it. It's kind of the reality that we find ourselves in. It almost doesn't matter who starts in his absence and who performs well because he's the number one. I would love it though if Vitek starts and he performs and he continues to perform and he looks good. And I like it if we're like, all right, you and Onana are going to fight it out for the year, and Onana needs to earn back that spot. But then I look at United's history with academy keepers, Joel Pereira, Matty Kovar, Henderson, Vitek, Johnstone, and it's like nobody gets a sniff, man. I think Henderson's probably the closest it's ever come, but it's just not been. We just don't seem to do it. So, like, yeah, Box says time to unleash Vitek. I love me some Vitek, man. But we won't. Yes, we will not. We won't do that. Nubis says, I have a feeling Onana will be playing even though he's still recovering just to block other goalkeepers' chances. Remember, he did that to Bayendier before during AFCON. If he does and he hurts himself even further, then, like, it's just somebody at some point's got to step in and be like, you just go chill, man. Like, you're fine. You're the keeper. You don't need to really do much. Because it's not like we want to sell him and we got to look at a keeper. Like, we can't sell him because he's injured. You can't play him because he's injured. So it hurts us either way, man. Niche fan says Vitek is our only option, which is a massive problem. We need a serious keeper option. Yes, we do. You guys hit that like button if you guys think Vitek should maybe start for the entirety of the preseason. He did. Now, people forget maybe he did start for us against Rosenborg a year ago. And he was absolutely outstanding in that match, if you guys remember. I can't remember what was it, like 1-0 that match? I don't remember off the top of my head. But the guy was an absolute. Yeah, he was an absolute.
It was 1-0. No, I remember because it was like Rosenborg. We only got one on Rosenborg, but
yeah, and they were in the middle of their season too.
Yeah,
because their season goes throughout the summer to like MLS. So they were in tip-top shape, and we were just like on the beach basically still. Don't forget, too, we've got Eli Harrison, who's been in and around the first team, getting involved in the matchday squad as well. And so I do think we have the ability to ship off a couple of these guys. Like Heaton is on a 1-year contract, so he'll still be here. Chat Sports says, give him a chance. Yes, big up. Oh, Nubis has got my syndrome. My syndrome is contagious. Although mine is more focused on another player from Club Brugge who shall not be named. But yeah, Nippon was definitely stung a lot when we didn't get him and he went to the freaking. How can you be a United fan and go to City, dude? That's messed up. That's almost as bad as going to Liverpool. That's weird. So Vitek reportedly in. Bayendier potentially out though, according to Ryan Taylor. Reportedly, Altay Bayendier's agent has been at Carrington this week to discuss the future of his client at Manchester United. Danny, you can't say the name is banned while also mentioning the name. It's internally conflicting. Danny, I expected better from you, Danny. So buying deer. How's everybody thinking about buying deer then? Because obviously we just had a little chit chat about that. Not great against Spurs, getting knocked out of the cup. Not great against Newcastle. Decent against Arsenal. Hasn't really. He's had a handful of appearances for this club. Probably. I don't. I mean, I don't know what he was expecting. Honestly, he signed for 5 million. It's kind of like this whole John Victor situation. Like you're 29 years old, 5 million release clause. You're not exactly being signed to be the number one guy. Now it's in your power to do that if you can perform, but you got to know what you're getting into, right? What would you like to see happen with Binder?
I think for both him and the club, he needs to go. It hasn't worked out. Like I think all of us thought. I think he'd be a good backup. He'd come in and do well. And I think he knew he might have a chance to take that number one position, but it just hasn't worked out. And the part for a young keeper for him would not to be playing. Um, to try to get back some of that confidence to develop some more of what he was working on. So he needs to go. And I think somebody in Turkey or somewhere over there will probably take or go for him. How you doing, Jay?
Yeah, I don't know. And like Danny says, it's kind of like we just shoot ourselves in the foot. Maybe it's a talent identification issue. Maybe we just sign bad players. Maybe it's like a situation where we don't play them enough to give them an opportunity to make themselves appealing. Maybe we pay them too much in wages, which nobody else can afford. Maybe they have attitude problems, so nobody wants to deal with it. We just seem to attract the worst of the worst, and it makes it literally impossible to sell any of these players, which is a big part of why we're getting absolutely bent over by PSR is because we can't sell players. The only players we've been able to sell for a profit have been academy players, Dan James, and then Cristiano Ronaldo back in like 2008, 2009. We just don't do it. We just lose money because again, I say it so many times, the people who made the most important decisions at this club are just incompetent for the last almost 2 decades now. Like, whose bright idea was it to give Anthony $200K a week? I don't get it, man. So Binder, it's like Danny says, it's going to be hard to get rid of him. We're going to take a loss probably, even though we paid like 5 million or so for him.
Yeah.
I doubt we're going to get more than that, but I think he's good enough to start, just not good enough to start at a club like United. Again, like you're saying, go to Turkey, go to like the Eredivisie or something. I don't know. Maybe go start for like fine. I don't know. Some nonsense. Who knows? Grasshopper Club or some bullshit. Who knows? Buck says, I heard Binder is open to European offers, but doesn't want to return to Turkey yet, which is a blow, as that would be the biggest market of interest. Maybe he can go join Bolka in the Saudi League, which is one of the worst decisions I've ever seen in my life. Danny says talent identification is poo-poo. Yeah, it has been for years. We've had a couple that we've kind of done a really good job, I think, scouting. But just overall, it's either been like super obvious players or it's been just not good players at all. Who you're looking at, you're like, ooh, Malacia, that's good. No, he didn't turn out like. We got really lucky with guys like Ander Herrera, which weren't like household names at the time. But other than that, it's just been like the obvious players, the ones who were always like just anybody who's playing FIFA who's never watched a minute of football is going to say, oh, that person's 84 rated. I'll sign him. Why not? Nubis says someone is definitely getting commission by recommending these trash players. Binder, Malacia. Yeah, Binder one is I don't get too harsh about because he's signed to be a backup. But the Malacia one, like, he looked really good in the Eredivisie, and Ten Hag loved him, but he was not good. Amir says Binder is a very good goalkeeper. Uh-oh. I'll let you guys take care of that because I don't need to do that. Jay, welcome back, Jay, says, I personally think this window is embarrassing for us. We're the only team in the Prem with no activity, no concrete anything, just one signing. Poor Amorim, I'd walk. See, that's another conversation I felt like I wanted to have one day is like, at what point do managers walk away? Scholesy was manager at Oldham 4, 5, 6 years ago and walked away because they weren't willing or able to do anything really in the transfer market. And I was saying he was asking for like 40 million pound players, but he literally walked away from that's his boyhood club, Oldham. So, but what, like Dylan, at what point do managers walk? I mean, at what point do they give up the the money to send a statement to not let their career be hindered by board or owners who just aren't up for the task. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it has to be a point where you believe the club is not going to actually put forth the best effort for the club and for you to succeed. And I don't necessarily think Amorim's at that point yet, but like Danny B says there, if they don't get Embuemo, that's something that could weigh on his mind. We don't get a lot of other signings that could help his system, how he's going to play it, same sort of thing. So I can see in December if we're in a position that's like mid-table or so, and things aren't going great, and it doesn't seem like he's going to get the bag. I could totally see December or so the Amorim walks, maybe January.
Yeah,
if he doesn't believe they're going to get back.
I can't see him getting sacked if they don't, because if he walks, it's because he's not backed. If you're backing the manager, either with getting rid of players or bringing in players, you can't sack him, right? It wouldn't be right to do that.
Yeah.
And so
it wouldn't be right for that. So he'd have to walk.
We'd have to be like literally in the relegation by like November, December for him to get sacked. Whether you sign anybody or not, like I just can't see, and I can't see that happening honestly. But it's just Danny says he's not being back walk in September. Then we're right back to square one, and it's just Ineos. Just I almost wonder, and maybe this is a question for a bigger or like its own stream, but and I know you guys are going to jump right into it, but like are Ineos, like did they bite off more than they could chew? Like from a status, like a whole like stature standpoint, from a financial standpoint, like they had access to all the finances, all the accounts, so they knew what the debt was and stuff. Even though they've come out and said like we didn't know it was this bad, like it's bullshit. If you didn't know it was that bad, then you didn't do your job and your diligence before you signed the paper and shook the man's hand. But did they bite off more than they could chew? Did they think they could get a hold of this? And they're just like they're now. It seems like they're almost like scrambling at this point.
Yeah, I would agree with that. They seem like they didn't necessarily think it was going to be this big of a problem. So.
Yeah, I feel like we've seen that from some managers too. Like I feel like Ten Hag came in and then immediately when he saw how just completely incompetent we were in the market, that's what he very quickly took the reins on that and decided to basically be the guy who's deciding all the transfers. He didn't have a say in wages or price. I think people need to move on from that. Like it always bugs me when people were like, "Oh, Ten Hag spent this much." Ten Hag didn't spend shit. Right? That's all on the people negotiating those deals. Managers don't spend money. This isn't FC 25. That's not the way it works. But his talent identification is shit, and it was pretty shady the way he was getting all these players signed to his agency as well. I thought that was pretty weird. Niche says they wouldn't put it past Ineos sack. They need a fall guy. Well, Ineos are the fall guy for the Glazers, right? They mean Ashworth was their fall guy for a hot second of you there. Danny says con men promised him into believing they would back him. They said in January they planned for the summer. We're still waiting on that plan. How awkward was that though? Like that first meeting between all of them after coming back to preseason, just like sitting down. Amorim's like, "All right, give me the good news, guys," and they're like, "Ugh, about that, Ruben, about that." That's so frustrating, and like the guy just has looked frustrated since like his first match almost at this club, man. Like, I would worry about running out of photos to use for thumbnails after we lose, but there's so many opportunities to get photos of him looking frustrated or sad or with his hand in front of his face. Like, I'm not going to run out anytime soon. Like, it's just it's there. Danny says they bit off more than they could chew, and now they're choking on it, Sean. Well, it's starting to feel like that a little bit. I think they had plans, they had ambitions, but it's kind of like when Spurs built that stadium. Like, I'm sure they had a plan and they had ambitions too, but it didn't quite go that way, did it? They spent like 10 times more on that. So, let's see. Nubis says Sir Jim didn't become a billionaire by being generous. He may not be taking the money like the Glazers, but he will not put his money like Roman and Chelsea do. Yeah, how do you... He has put in money. Because he's put in several $100 million of his own, and then he's also taking charge of this Carrington renovation. So he has put in money. It's not like he hasn't. But I do think there's probably more that he could do. I question whether or not he wants to, because it's not his debt, but this time he took it on. So how much more, Dylan, do you think he should do, or do you think that what he's doing is just fine right now?
No, it seems like there should be more that he's putting in. I mean, I know the Carrington rebuild, all the other stadium plans and things like that they're trying to get forward. Um, but it seems like some of the cost cutting measures you're doing are the wrong things. It's
Yeah.
like he's trying to find quick solutions instead of the right solutions. It almost
Yeah.
seems like.
Which is so funny because they're so quick to do stuff like that, but they're so agonizingly slow in the transfer market. Like, we're moving half the speed of smell right now in this transfer market, dude. It's fucking embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
57% of you do not think that Mbuemo will be signed for the preseason tour. So you guys just made me really sad. I hope you're happy. Um, I'm gonna end that poll real quick. We kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent here talking about Ineos because we still have some goalkeeper news to discuss. So Binder's agent apparently at Carrington talking about stuff, but we got another Emi Martinez update. So if Lucky Singh is in the house, he'll chime in. But I saw this earlier. So apparently United have made a move for Emi Martinez. Discussions with Villa are already underway, and that's coming from Gaston Edul, who is a very, very well regarded source. Close to 22 million is what I'm seeing. I'm just saying, for close to 22, 25 million, Andre Lunin is right there for pretty much the same price. Like, I'm just
And we
saying.
talked about that. Like,
Sen
uh,
Lamens is right there. I'm just saying. I'm just not a big Emmy. Are you an Emmy Martinez guy?
I would have been a few years ago. I just like I agree with you. I noticed this last season he was making a few more mistakes. Not saying he couldn't rebound in a different setting, but it just seems like age is catching up with him a little bit.
Yeah, he's
So
definitely been on the decline. We put up the stuff the other day. It was like over the last 2 seasons, basically since Onana signed, his numbers are actually better than Emmy Martinez's in many ways. Martinez, I put up all of Emmy Martinez's percentiles for the last couple of years, and last year was definitely a noticeable decline. Um, I like his attitude. I think he's got the mentality you need at United. I'm here
yeah.
for the shithousery, but you also have to perform. And yeah, he's definitely worse. Danny, why are you telling me this, man? Why are you making me sad? Danny's just always trying to break my balls, man. He's always just trying to take the wind out of my sails every time I want to. He's already mentioning he who shall not be named. Ugh, what are you doing to me, man? If we lose Luna in the viewer, I'm gonna be pissed. Like, we should like. I just gotta stop for a second and just take a wee moment here to reflect, because I tell people, like, yes, there are players that you like, and like, doesn't mean that we're ever going to be in form. You shouldn't get frustrated and get angry at the club for not buying them just because you like them. But at the same time, it's not like the player itself. It's just the opportunity is right there. Whatever. It is what it is. I'm gonna get frustrated if I go on about it. I don't want to make myself cry. Fuck off. Jay says, I'd be happy with Martin. He's also a great pen stopper. He's also a World Cup winner. He has plenty of Prem experience. It's an upgrade on Onana. I'll let you guys in the chat see how you feel about that. Emmy Martinez, 22 million. I mean, let's just say, though, hypothetically, we do sign Emmy Martinez, right? What does that mean for our goalkeeping situation? Who starts? We're going to have 2 first-team keepers? Like, this is fucking Arsenal? Like, what the hell is going on here? It's starting to feel like goalkeeper situation is becoming a bit of a crisis right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you can't have Emmy Martinez and Onana and Heaton and Bindier and Vitek, like, and Harrison. Like, this, we can't do that. Would you don't like Emmy Martinez? Is that what you said?
I mean, I think he would probably do better than Onana, but he's not going to be the long term solution. So,
Yeah.
For 1 season, 2 seasons, yeah, that'd probably be fine. But we're trying to go long term here because we can't keep signing short term deals.
You're just throwing money away if you sign Emmy Martinez, because you spend 20, 25 million on him. You're never getting that money back. Like, you're just not. And you're banking on him literally being better than Onana. And we showed you the numbers from the last 2 seasons since Onana's joined, and he's just not better than Onana. Now, you can say that he is, but the numbers also tell you that he's just not. You guys remember when he got sent off in the final match of the season? Like, he's got mistakes in him, and he's making more and more of these errors. He's got so many of them, and it's like he's just not. He's categorically not better. He was better. He's not anymore. It doesn't mean that he wasn't a good keeper. He's just not anymore. It's just what it is. Danny's already over Wilcox and Barada. Danny, there's no chill with Danny when it comes to this stuff, man. He's either just like he's either in a good mood or he's just like stack everybody. Like, that's all there is to it. Niche fan says statistically he's worse than Onana. He is. He's not very good. Danny says throwing money away, his wages will be horrible. Yeah, it's literally throwing money away. It's like, it's not like Robin van Persie, where, okay, we know we're never getting that money again, but Robin van Persie is literally the difference maker, and he literally was the difference maker back then. And people and I feel like we've had this conversation before where people are like, well, goalkeepers are good until they're their mid-30s. People are like, well, look at Van der Sar. I'm like, if you can name me more than like 6 goalkeepers who were literally like Man United first team quality when they were in their mid-30s, you go for it. But I can tell you right now, everyone's going to say like Van der Sar, Buffon, who else are we talking about? Czech, Ter Stegen maybe, and Manuel Neuer. And that's pretty much it for keepers who were good into their, like, and I mean good, not like, oh, they can play. I can fucking play until my mid-30s. Doesn't mean I'm good enough for Manchester United's first team. Yeah. There's levels to this shit. Hugo Lloris declined by the time he got to like his late 20s. He used to be this revolutionary sweeper keeper in the league. He definitely started declining. Like, Tim Howard started declining. Like, it's just the way it goes. It's very, very small sample size of keepers who are that level into their mid-30s, and we don't spend money. He'll be 33 in September too, so I'm done with it. So, oh boy, let me get caught up. Jay says, I'd be happy with any keeper over Onana, honestly, but put Harry Maguire in goal, his big head would say. My grandma could literally sit there and play fucking Scrabble on her iPad in goal and probably stop more shots just by getting nailed in the face with the ball than Onana's going to do. Like, and I'd be like, big up, grandma, big up. Fox is Van der Sar. She's a real one. Dude, my grandma is a real one. No joke, dude. Whenever we go over there, it was literally homemade bread, pot roast, like a homemade everything. She had a garden, so it was like, oh, we're getting those garden green beans for dinner, Grandma. That's what's up, man. Grandma didn't fuck around, as we like to say around the old McNally household. Y'all voted for Van der Sar as your all-time United 11 keeper, I think, if I remember it correctly. Was that right, Dylan? You were here for that.
I think it was Van der Sar, which shocked us because we thought it was going to be Schmeichel.
I thought for sure it was going to be Schmeichel, but I think maybe some of us of a certain vintage remember Van der Sar a little bit more than Schmeichel, but so maybe there's a bit of age playing a role in there. But yeah, I just don't see what happens if we sign Emi Martinez, because Onana's not going anywhere. So that's the big thing. I just don't. Unless somebody's going to buy Onana, I just don't see this happening. And even if we did buy him, you'd have 2 weeks maybe to get that done by the time he comes back from this injury. And that's assuming he's fine after coming back from his injury. I just don't see anything in this. So I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think. We're going to move on to my next topic. You guys, make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you subscribe. And if you are new, check those memberships. You already had a new member join tonight in the Academy in Rob Always United. So big up Rob Always United. Memberships are the best way to get more involved in the content on the channel, whether that's scouting reports, which I have one coming for you later on tonight, suggestions for episodes of What If. You guys remember Season 2 finished last month. You can go check the first 2 seasons of those as well. And the Legends members do get option to join in the Kickabout show as well. So if you are a Legends member, you do want to jump in, hit me up, unitedstatesofunited@gmail.com. I'll send you the link. You can join in for whatever segment you want to join in on and jump in, get your voice heard. So I always want to remind everybody of stuff like that. Let's talk about Sancho for a little bit, because we got
everyone's favorite subject.
Yeah, right. Somebody put, what was it, Scamcho? Somebody called him the other day in the chat. I thought that was good. I was on Jarvis's show, Tactical Devils. If you guys don't watch that, go watch Tactical Devils. But he had a name for Hoyland that I hadn't heard. He called him Rasmataz, which I thought was pretty fun. So apparently, Corriere dello Sport, apparently Juve put in a bid of like 8.5 mil plus 4.5 mil for Sancho recently. Then we got news that United were going to pay 4 million in severance of his wages just to facilitate that move. Then I'm just doing a timeline for y'all. Fabrizio Romano gave us a here we go on reportedly Juventus' first choice for that position, Chico Conceição, who was there on loan. And so for all that, I figured, okay, that means Sancho to Juve's off, right? So all that going on. But then Alfredo Padulla this tweet out recently. Now, I like that photo. I'm glad I found that photo. Juventus have increased their offer to Man United for Jadon Sancho to £15 million, according to Alfredo Padulla. And then Corriere dello Sport backed this up today and said Sancho's agent was actually in Turin today to talk about a move. Whew, and breathe. Juve, is that what we're thinking here for Sancho? Do we think this is going to happen? I thought this was going to be done with the Chico Conceição. Here we go. But like, what are your thoughts here, Dylan?
Oh God, just get him out of the club. Just get him out of it. Get his wages off the books. Get it, just all of it.
All of it, just go. Just get him gone. Huh? Do we even care? Like, just get him gone. Who cares? The one thing I kind of had a feeling we were going to have to pay a little bit of his wages to get him out of here. I've been saying that for weeks now.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
I kind of figured that's what was going to happen too. Like some we're going to have to do something with that. Add that on to maybe the payment or to cover some of that. But man, just get him out.
Just go, man. Like, it's embarrassing. Gianluca Di Marzio claimed that Inter are also looking at him as a backup option if they can't get Ademola Lookman. Apparently, they were going to offer 40 million for Lookman. Should we try to get 40 million for Sancho if they come in for him, or does you just not care? Just get him out of here. Who cares?
We're never going to get that. Maybe 20. Like they might say that, but I doubt it. Hell, I'd go 25. They drop it down to 18 and just take it. Just get him out.
Yeah. I'll fly over there to take him to the airport myself. I'll pay for his flight at this point. Like, it doesn't matter.
I will carry him to the airport myself on my shoulders to get him out.
Yeah, get him his freedom, man. Freedom fighter, team freedom all the way. I thought about maybe putting some photos I found on the internet of him, like, his face on, like, a Martin Luther King speech. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to touch that. We're just going to let that go.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that.
I saw another one of his face with blue paint on a Braveheart scene. That was hilarious. But yeah, I'll let the meme creators handle that. Jay, yeah, we did talk about the other day. Apparently, the United medical staff knew that Yor had a foot injury before we signed him, but they let him play. Now, just because somebody's got an injury during the medical, it doesn't mean that we won't sign them. Sometimes injury is the prognosis is good enough to where they're like, all right, it's fine. Now the question is, why was he playing if he had an injury?
Yeah.
That's the big question. But like we signed Ruud when he was injured. We signed Diogo Dalot when he was injured. Hoyland had a back injury when we signed him as well. And so I think that it just depends. Not all injuries are created equally. Now, like Mason Mount, I don't know what we were doing there. Like that was ridiculous. But yeah, I don't understand why he was playing then. It makes sense now when you think about what Axel Tuanzebe is doing, because I'm like, what the hell, dude? Like that to me is literally like that goes past negligence, and that's like willful endangerment. Like that's what we call like malfeasance in that situation. You don't want to do that kind of shit. Yep. Nisha's Sancho's taking the piss, stealing a wage. Box with the comment of the night so far. Sancho's face when he realizes his next contract will be $35K a week and not $350K a week. Katu, welcome back, bud. I have no idea how Sancho was attractive for Juve, but 15 million sounds great to me. I've always kind of felt like I could see him at Juve. I feel like I mentioned that at Loaded Dice once or twice earlier in the season. Like I feel like I could see him at Juve. Nisha's just get him gone.
Agree.
Amir says Sancho is a freedom fighter and not suitable for Ruben Amorim style. Oddly enough, I feel like Sancho, all things being equal, would do well in one of those 10s. It's just his attitude is just shit, personally. Jay says that's true, but we shouldn't be playing them. It makes no sense. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me to play someone who you know is injured. Same with Onana, though. Somebody was saying just playing him, but Buck says Sancho's face when he starts talking about freedom fighting and Juve ultras turn up at the training ground. Yeah, he's gonna have
to play with these comments, man. I'm loving it.
Yeah, Box have to get Box on this channel sometime and let him do his thing, man. I'm just gonna let him just put him in front of the camera and just let him go and just say, hey, man, release you into the wild here. So I think it could be a matter of, I think before preseason, I do think we could see some outgoings. I do think Sancho's getting close. I think Anthony's getting close. Haven't heard much about Garnacho or Rashford recently, but I would like to think they're getting close. But I've also said that for a while now. But I'd like to think maybe we can get Mbeumo over the line before preseason, but that's probably not going to happen either. Sticking with Juve, Dylan, did you see all this stuff about Vlahovic reportedly being offered to United? That's coming from Romano too. Do you rate Dusan Vlahovic?
Not anymore.
No.
This is the way. This is kind of the way I look at it. Like, if we got him for free and he took a wage cut, sure, I'll take him. But I wrote this down. It was like, we already have there's a player in Vlahovic. We've seen glimpses of that, but we already have one reclamation striker project. We don't need another. So,
yeah. There's just not many options. I almost wonder if we need to just wait until the striker market opens up again now, because there's nobody left. Gyökeres probably not here. Osimhen's probably not here. Jonathan David's at Juve now. Delap's at Chelsea. Pedro's at Chelsea. Ekitike could be going either to Newcastle or Liverpool. I don't know what's happening with Alexander Isak. I saw some rumors that Liverpool are about to spend even more money, apparently. But who's left? Watkins, Shesko, Rocadere, Endrick. I saw it last week. Endrick could go on loan. I've seen a lot of Nicholas Jackson links today, which please no to Nicholas Jackson. Every time I watch Nicholas Jackson in a Chelsea shirt, I think of Fernando Torres in a Chelsea shirt. Like, just not that good.
No.
Because what I don't want is to have like this just sign anybody mentality, because that's what's got us into a lot of this mess. Proper rebuilds are going to be about patience, priorities, and the right profile of player. And so if your top choices are gone, if our top choice is Mbeumo and we're more focused on that, then we need to maybe wait until the striker market gets a little bit better, in my opinion. Was there anybody off the top of your head that you would like?
No, I just wanted to point out that the first thing I wrote when I put in my other striker section here was, "Dear God, not Nicola Jackson."
I'm just not a big fan. How many goals did he score? I feel like he always seems to pop up with a goal, though. Even though, this is the thing about the eye test and the stats, because the eye test will tell you one thing when you're watching Jackson, but then for some reason he gets a lot of goals.
Well, but he gets a goal, but then he misses 3 or 4 chances that are good.
Yeah.
So his conversion rate, if I remember right, isn't that good.
Yeah, basically the same as like Vlahovic last year. 10 goals in the league. The year before, his first season at Chelsea, he had 14 goals, 5 assists in the league. So he's not going to be the striker that's going to be the difference maker for you. No. And like you're saying, he misses a lot more chances. Like, if you look at his highlights, you're like, yeah, you look cool because you're seeing only his highlights of him scoring. But what about all the chances? This is why I say it reminds me of Fernando Torres. How many sitters did Fernando Torres miss in a Chelsea shirt? A lot. So, just the striker, I think, as the weeks go on, I don't think we're going to be getting a striker unless we get someone unless I could see Vlahovic. If the reports of Juve terminating his contract are true, I can see it happening. It's not that I want it, I just can't see it. And I think I like Watkins. I don't want to spend what the reported price is on Watkins. I don't want to spend and I think that's ridiculous. Villa just don't want to sell too many players. They don't have enough players, Villa. They're in PSR, but they don't want to sell too many. They want to sell maybe one for big money and then try to get a couple players in. But I'm not going to be on the receiving end of that. Nish agrees, doesn't rate Vlahovic personally. Danny says Jarvis will be delighted with the Jackson link. Jay says, "I'm sorry, Miss Jackson." Woo! I am. You guys remember that? You guys old enough to remember that? I remember that. Mm-hmm. That was such a good album. Oh yeah. So Fresh, So Clean that was my junk, man. Just when that song came on, it was you're like, all right, let's do it. All right, sorry guys, we had a little memory lane here. Danny says his numbers are okay. His numbers are okay, but misses a lot. But his numbers aren't like, yep, we don't need to ever sign a striker again
Yeah.
because we've got Nicholas Jackson. Like that's not the vibe I'm getting. There are a lot of young, like I said, Rocadera maybe he's out there who could maybe give him another season, see if he does, and then bring him in. Victor Boniface is a name I've seen thrown around a lot. I'm not sure what's going on with that guy. I think he's got a lot of injuries over the years. So Danny says, yeah, touch finishing, not good. Jay says, Fergie would have got Kane. Who's that? James Ward-Prowse, is that who that's supposed to be? Bowen, Watkins, Mads, Hackney, etc. What are we doing? What's wrong with our recruitment team? Again, it comes back to that thing. Like, just because we're not getting players that we want doesn't necessarily. We can't be kind of so arrogant that we think that the players we want are necessarily players that we should be getting. And I know I say that there's players I like, I can get frustrated, but if the club has a plan and that plan doesn't include players that you want, it doesn't necessarily mean the club's doing it. Because the other club in the world, besides the club that signed that player that you wanted, has apparently now made a mistake. If that's the way we're going about thinking that, you're right. You understand what I'm saying? Um, and so I like Hackney. We tried to get Kane. Spurs didn't want to play ball. I like Bowen too. I think he's a good player. I don't really see how he suits what we're looking for. I like Watkins. I just don't want to pay the money for Watkins. You guys know I love Hayden Hackney. I would definitely go get Hayden Hackney in a heartbeat. I would sacrifice Collier to get Hayden Hackney by offering Collier in cash. That's how much I would get Hackney and Lennon Miller, and then maybe loan Lennon Miller out to like Celtic or something for the season. That's how I would go about the midfield business. Because for the same price, when you throw Collier in, the same price that you pay for one Richard Rios, you can get two midfielders, and then you're set basically. So Fox says, imagine a prime Lewandowski. You don't have to imagine it if you go back and watch one of my What If episodes from season 2. So just FYI there, shameless plug. Niche fan says the press are mugging us off, linking it with us with Jackson. Sounds a little bit almost like agent talk for Jackson, trying to basically read the writing on the wall. When a club has you as a striker and they sign João Pedro and they sign Liam Delap, I think you can kind of assume your third choice at that point. And so it sounds to me like a little bit like an agent trying to get his client a move, which is what an agent's job is. I would love it if some of our players that we don't want, agents would do some shit like that, but fuck it. They're going to sit there and complain. Agents will get a signing bonus too if their client moves. You think it would be in their agent's best interest to get their client a move, right? So it's ridiculous, man. All right, enough of Sancho because I'm done with this asshole. Let's move on to did you have any final thoughts on that? What we're talking about?
No, that's a good way to end it.
Yeah, all right. Big deal. I like it. Let's shift to left back. So Danny kind of mentioned this a little bit, but we got some fresh links to a player that we've been linked to in the past. A player, honestly, I do like. His injuries in the past worry me a little bit. This is coming from Ben Jacobs. United have shown a strong interest in Pervis Estupiñán and have held talks with the player's side in recent days. No club-to-club talks yet. Milan also have shown interest. Now, Milan just lost Teo Hernandez, correct?
Yes.
Did he go to Al Hilal? Did that end up happening?
I believe it was one of those clubs. I think it was Al Hilal.
So Estupiñán, future at Brighton, probably a little up in the air because Brighton I think they just signed De Kuiper from Club Brugge.
Mm-hmm.
They still have Ferdi Kadiolu, who they signed a year ago, who I really, really wanted coming off the back of those Euros as well. Estupiñán was a good player, like Danny says. I almost had him included in my Luke Shaw replacement video from a year ago, but his injuries kind of forced my hand a little bit in that one. Plus, Brighton also still have Barco. I would take Barco in a heartbeat. I love Barco when he was at Boca. I think he went on loan this past year as well, but they're trying to get rid of people now. But what does this mean then if we're looking at left back? Because I've also said I wouldn't say no to a more experienced left back because our oldest one is 20. But what does this mean then for Amas, for Diego Leon, for Patrick Dogu if we're looking at left backs? If we sign a, 27, 28 now? What does that mean? Do you like Estupiñán? Answer all those questions at once, Dylan.
In terms of liking Estupiñán, I mean, a few years ago, yeah, I would have taken him. But it is kind of brought up in the chat, like Danny B says, he's too injury prone. I mean, last year, the year before, he was out a fair amount of the season with injuries, and those have continued to creep up. He does have Premier League experience, but the biggest thing for me is that we already have 3 guys there, and yes, they're young, but it's not it's not our biggest priority. So I would rather not go for someone that's going to have injury problems, especially with our medical department. Um, Going through there, I just don't even try to don't pay for that. Don't go for anything, and just focus on other needs.
Yeah, I just looked up his injury history on Transfer Market. The guy's missed over 50 matches in the last 2 seasons alone, just with muscle injuries.
Yeah.
Um,
So Luke Shaw.
so basically, Luke Shaw. So you're buying a Luke Shaw when you already got a Luke Shaw. That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm all set on that. I'm glad I sidestepped that landmine when I didn't include him in my video because this guy is just too injury prone for sure.
Yeah.
But see, I don't write the news; I just talk about it. So it is what it is. We mentioned Richard Rios before. Rudy Galletti gave us a little bit of an update on Richard Rios today. So apparently, according to Rudy Galletti, Benfica have put in a bid for him. But Palmeiras are reportedly in no rush right now to sell Richard Rios. There sounds like maybe they're holding out to maybe get a bidding war going. Sounds like it's working. You
Mm-hmm.
told me somebody else or some other news for Richard Rios. Who did you say put a big bid in for him?
So right before we came on, Sky Sports was reporting that Roma put a $30 million bid or €30 million bid in, I believe,
Okay.
for Richard Rios. So I mean, if they want that bidding war, it's probably going to kick off now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean they're in no need. I mean to sell. I mean, and I think he's getting a lot of interest that they could probably get a good. I mean, like I said just a couple minutes ago, like offer Collier in cash for Hayden Hackney, and you're basically another a Richard Rios right there, and he's already playing English football. He knows the English game. I like there's a lot of really good midfielders out there, and I've said this many times. We've listed them on this channel many times. All of them could be available for around the similar price between like that 25 to like 35 million pound range. I think this is about what you can expect to pay right now for a really good all around good midfielder. And so there's a lot of options. We have a couple of options too. We can, like I said, use Collier in cash. We can offer Amos on loan in cash for like Lennon Miller, loan him out. Like, see, I'd be an excellent director of football, I think. I'm just going to put it out there. There are options, and we have a couple of cards up our sleeve when we have a little bit more leverage to use in some of this. So I know a lot of people like Richard Rios, but there are a lot of really good midfielders out there too. It sounds like we are also looking at midfielders too, but I think Buemo, we're trying to make sure that we get our priority signings done for the summer. And I think our priorities going into this window were Cunha and Buemo and getting rid of the fraud five, basically, that we've talked about many times. So Bach says Zenit offered about 35 million, but he's reluctant to join. Yeah, we talked about that one the other day too. That apparently Zenit St. Petersburg, who are still allowed to be a club. I don't know how. I thought all the Russian stuff got squashed a couple of years ago, but apparently
They're barred from participating in European competition, but still have the Russian Super League. I'm surprised that anybody would want to go there. And I can't. I mean, the only reason that one Dutch striker was over there is because he was escaping criminal charges. So
who?
There was this one Dutch winger or striker. He had some sort of drug charges or things like that. He was playing over in Russia just so he didn't have to go face prison time.
Oh, Quincy Prom, is that who you're talking about?
Yeah.
All right. Interesting. I didn't know that happened. He got 6 years for cocaine smuggling. What the hell are you doing? I'll never understand why footballers who are paid so much money to play a sport get involved with this kind of shit, man. Whether it's the like Benzema sex blackmail shit, the Pogba stuff, gambling stuff, and now this, like, what are you doing? Like, why would you do this? You are literally like, I would cut off my right arm to have for this to be my job. That's insane, dude. Rob says, is that Rudy Galletti who was married? Yep, that's him. Nailed it. Jay says, I won't be surprised if we get linked to all these players, but get none of them in a classic deadline day panic vibes, and typical Glazer behavior. Well, remember, the Glazers aren't involved in the footballing side of things anymore. I think one of them has like the say on like the transfer, like yay, nay kind of thing at the board level, but I don't think it's the testicle dude. I think it's the other guy, if I top of my head. Yeah, I just don't care, Dylan. Call him like a C, but what I see is a giant testicle with a ponytail.
I like that, the testicle dude and the other guy. That's how we're.
Yeah, he looks like a naked mole rat who's in the mafia or something.
Mhm.
He's just dumb, dude. Like if I saw, I would like I'm not a mean person, but he's a person. Like if I saw him on the street, and I would just laugh because you're just like you're funny looking, man. Like you're just weird. Um, Niche fan says Lamine Yamal is getting sued by people with dwarfism. The average footballer isn't that smart. I don't expect any 16, 17-year-old to be that smart. Dylan can probably attest to this a little bit too. Um,
Yeah, they're not. They don't. A lot of that forward thinking is not there. We look at that like that is a. So that whole thing is we would look at that and say, no, that's dumb and very offensive to people. They look at it as like, no, this will be fun, and that's all they think of.
yeah, I saw that news. Did you see the Lamine Yamal crap?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, this kid's an
and I
idiot.
was just
Yeah,
it was bringing me flashbacks to the high schoolers I teach. So I was just like,
yeah.
no.
High schoolers, man, bunch of little a-holes. What did Donald Glover call them? Tiny Hitlers, tiny Hitlers, all of them.
Oh, sometimes, man. Sometimes you're just like, I don't even
Jeez.
know where you came up with these ideas.
I remember being a high schooler, and I didn't ever have like an attitude, but I do remember being in high school, watching other high schoolers, just like, bro, what? What are you doing?
Oh yeah.
Like, they let you out of the house? What's wrong with you?
Well,
Um,
and you try to rationalize with them, and in the you thinking that they will grow into rational human beings, and they will.
no,
Just not in the time period that you want.
no, they'll grow into professional TikTokers, and then that's
Some of
that's it.
them.
That's their job. That will be their job one day. So
Yep.
you can say, "Oh, I'm on YouTube." This isn't my job, y'all. Trust me. I don't make any
Yep.
money from this shit. um, Jay says, I honestly don't know. This window so far is typical Glazer window. We have no evidence to say otherwise. I think they have more control than what everyone thinks. I swear by it. Well, we'll see, won't we?
Maybe.
Omar Barada says we have a plan. I don't know if this was the plan, then it is a shit plan. If I'm honest, I feel like this went to a dark space here. Let's change things up. I promised you guys a scouting report. We're gonna do a scouting report. This time it's another player like the defender that we talked about the other day.
One more thing, just
Oh, go
in
ahead.
case people are talking. I do like the kids I teach. They do stupid things that make me question everything I do.
Right. I feel like. Do you feel like sometimes when you get to parent teacher conferences, sometimes you're like, oh, now I get it now.
Oh yeah, you look at it as like, oh, I see this.
Oh yeah, totally. Yep. No, it makes total sense now. Yep. Gotcha.
A lot of times I just walk out and I'll be like, I like these children. I just can't understand any of their decisions.
Stupid is hereditary. That's what it is. All right, let's do a scouting report, you guys. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure if you want to get involved in scout reports, if you've got players that you've got your eye on that you want to see me highlight, best way to do that is to check those memberships, you guys. So we have been linked to this little kid, and I decided to go ahead and do a scouting report. He was a player that was on my list and now seemed the goodest time as any since it seemed to coincide with United being linked. So let's go ahead and take a look at Keys Smith, 19-year-old attacking midfielder/midfielder, so he can play a couple different positions, but he tends to play in a pivot, but he gets a lot of the ball high up the pitch, and you're going to see that in a second. Absolutely balling out. The best way I can compare him to, and obviously he's got that red hair, he plays the same position, but if you didn't, try to forget what you've seen Kevin De Bruyne as at City, and if you ever watched Kevin De Bruyne when he was at Wolfsburg, when he was just pacey, when he was dribbling, when he was nonstop, all action, high up the pitch, this is what this kid is. Press resistant, good dribbling, excellent first touch. He's got good reading of the game, excellent vision. Passing range is on point. He presses high up the pitch as well, and his chance creation is a thing of beauty. Plays for AZ Alkmaar in the Eredivisie. He was promoted from their academy mid-season this year because he's that good. 2 goals, 2 assists in all comps, 1 goal, 2 assists in the Europa League. He had 8 goals, 6 assists in all comps in the AZ Academy and 13 appearances for them. So one of those players who was like too good for the Academy. We're yet to see what he can really do in the first team. He had 3 goals, 2 assists in 1 match for AZ's Academy. They were playing FC Utrecht's Academy, so he's very good. He was the under-19 MVP this past year as well. Very, very good player. Like I said, plays in the double pivot. But as you can see, if I look at his heat map, The guy doesn't let. This is why you guys can't focus so much on formations. The system is not the formation. I think it's easy sometimes to look at a 4-2-3-1 and say, well, you play there. It's not how this necessarily works. As heat map showed you, he sees a lot of the ball high up the pitch. So I got both the heat maps up here from the academy and from the first team as well. But you can see they're basically the same. He's been called the next Kevin De Bruyne, again, not just because of the red hair, but again, his vision, his dribbling, his chance creation, it's all very reminiscent of prime De Bruyne. Let me bring up his numbers here. So these are his percentiles. As you can see, a lot of greens going on in there. Gets a lot of touches high up the pitch. Those take-ons, top 20%. Progressive carries, top 10%. Progressive passes, pass completion. Shot creating actions. All that shit is way up there. And even if you look down, again, this is why I say he's a good all-arounder. Tackles, 64 percentile as well. As a pressing machine. He's just got that young kid, homeschooled kid playing gym energy, just always sweaty, nonstop, running around, just everything. No offense if you're homeschooled. I've worked with a lot of homeschooled kids at church. They all, you can tell from a mile away which ones don't see a lot of social activity because they are just boom, boom, boom. But his first touch, a thing of beauty. His ability to ride challenges and then keep possession as well. I'm talking literally ride challenges from two defenders at once. It's unparalleled. That it's like watching Messi or Kvaratskhelia, the way they can kind of squirt through challenges and still come out with the ball. Been linked to a lot of new clubs recently, aside from United. Leipzig, City, Chelsea, Real Madrid are even interested reportedly. He himself has confirmed interest from Real Madrid and Barcelona, but he actually, at this stage, he's already preferring to play rather than just to a big club, which I really respect. That's better for your development, right? AZ are trying to get him on a new contract so they can get a bigger fee, but right now they're already asking for 20 million for this kid. Excellent young player. Like I said, he's been on my list for a while. I saw the other day that he was linked. Thought it was a good time to go ahead and do that. So let's see. Does anybody else watch this kid at all? Danny does not know him. Yeah, he's very good. I mean, there's so many. I mean, it's kind of like the Sfera Nipan situation all over again. Bach says looks decent. Jay says he looks promising. Yeah, I like this kid a lot. Jay also says Smith and Hackney, the new Scholes and Carrick. Oh, if you can get Smith, Hackney, and Lennon Miller in your midfield three, you'd be set. You'd be fucking set for the next decade, dude. Absolute baller. But this kid, very, very good. Dylan, any thoughts on this?
No, you laid it out really. The points I was going to touch on that I had just watching some highlights from, because with everything going on, we all don't have tons of time. But I like the touch. I like the pace. I like the aggression with winning the ball back, which I think would be big for Amorim's system. And so he's definitely one I'm just seeing the little bit I've watched, that'd be perfect. So.
Yeah, he's got the energy, man, and that's something that we've lacked. That fight, we lose a lot of the midfield battle just because the players just don't seem to be up for it a lot of times.
Yeah,
and then players lose the ball or they don't put 100% in to get the ball, or like Garnacho or Rashford, they lose it and they don't do anything to get it back. This kid's gonna make them look like absolute babies. Andreas, welcome back. Heard a lot of good things about him. Yeah, he's excellent young player. Guys, watch other leagues, watch Belgian league, watch the Norwegian league if you can. A lot of good players. We did a scouting report on a couple of Norwegian players recently. Watch the Eredivisie as well. A lot of really good players out there. Welcome back, Andreas. Good to see you again. Niche fan says, even if we wanted him, he's never coming to us. We have to be realistic. No quality talent is going to want to come here if they have options to go to Barca and Liverpool. Well, we've poached a couple players from other academies because we've given more minutes to youngsters over the last year or so than any other club. This is what Aiden Heaven said. This is what Aiden Heaven chose us. Cheeto chose us. We've poached another couple players recently. We're looking at another one from City, another one from Fulham as well. We have a pathway to the first team for youngsters. We are one of the few Premier League clubs who's built on that. We are the one who does that, like I said, given the most minutes to youngsters recently. So we do have that. And I think that's something that appeals. The problem is are we actually going to be in for any of these players? Are there players, like we seem to be in for a lot of players who are going into the academy, which is fine, but we don't really seem to be in for a lot of young first team players. Heaven, an example of that, is probably the most recent one. So we'll see what happens. We've still got guys kicking around like Kone and whatnot, but I like this kid a lot. Like I said, some of you might have seen him here and there for the Eredivisie this year, but again, it gives me prime like Wolfsburg, De Bruyne vibes for sure. So what do you make of the Axel Twanzebe medical staff situation? This was reported from the Telegraph the other day, and clinical negligence apparently linked to medical advice that he was given back in July 22. It's funny too, though, this because when I looked it up, Dylan, there's a 3-year statute of limitations on claims like these in the UK. So you waited till the last possible month before that statute of limitations was up before you came forward with this kind of stuff. I thought that was a little sketch. What are your thoughts on the whole situation overall?
I mean, I understand what he's saying because, yeah, he had a lot of injury problems when he was at United that have probably hampered his development and growth and definitely hampered his career. But, you know, he was on loan for most of his career for us. And
Yeah.
a lot of those injuries aren't necessarily going to be our fault for that. So I'm just like, on the one hand, I get it. You're trying to, help out your career and things like that. On the other hand, I mean, if this goes through, this is going to set a precedent for all players.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
other clubs really should be taking notice of this because if this goes through wins, that's going to start an avalanche. I mean, Luke, like you're probably going to talk about Luke Shaw.
Yeah. I said the other day when this popped up, if Luke Shaw did this, we would go bankrupt in a day.
Oh yeah.
Phil Jones, he's going to be like, hey, so like the legal claim apparently is just like a million. So again, it's medical advice that apparently he was given by us in July 2022. I don't remember what he was doing in July 2022. Was he still here? Was he on loan? Because that would have been like the summer in between.
He came back from one of his loan spells. I can't remember which one.
So I just don't. To me, again, the timing is sketch because you like this was the last month that he could have done this. Had this been August 2022, he would be out of luck. Like he just wouldn't because the statute of limitations is 3 years. I mean, we know our medical staff is worthless. I've said it many, many times. Dr. Seuss, Dr. Dre, Dr. Pepper. Just hey guys, welcome. Sit anywhere you like. It's fine. I don't know what this is. The thingamajig. Do that. But clinical negligence is a big claim, and so it's kind of a big deal. Like you're saying, I wonder what sort of precedent because I've spoken many times on this channel about how shit the medical staff is. Casemiro didn't trust them, went to his own doctor. They missed Leach's foot not being fully healed when he had that first metatarsal injury. Luke Shaw, again, what's going on there? Even just the signing of Mason Mount should have been something the medical team flagged ahead of time. Like I spent all of 3 minutes on Google and could have told you like, nope, don't go anywhere near that with anybody's 10-foot pole because it's only going to get worse. So I make sense. But both things can be true. It can make sense, but Twanzebe could also be being a little sketch here in the timing of all this at the same time. So it's interesting kind of stuff here. Nietzsche says waiting 3 years is normal. It allows for the doctors the most to diagnose the full extent and the damage for how long. So this is apparently advice, not necessarily injury centric. But again, it's hard to ignore the timing of it in itself. Is my point. So not August, I meant June. Sorry, I was backwards. Jay says, I back Axel. It kind of goes with what CR7 outed. I back CR7 too. Our club is from the ground up. Leaking roofs is rotting away. It's not acceptable. Somehow people are going to find a way to blame this on Ineos. I don't. It's just what they're going to do. This was years before Ineos even got here, but it is what it is. Honestly, it doesn't even have anything to do with the Glazers either. This is all the medical staff. And honestly, the medical staff should have been one of the biggest priorities going into this summer. Like, I don't know how Ineos missed the complete ineptitude of our medical staff when they did their whole top to bottom audit. I mean, anybody could have. It doesn't take more than a couple minutes online to tell you their shit. But yeah, it's. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm just agreeing with you. I mean, we get the Arsenal team medical director or team doctor, and that doesn't help at all. I'm like, come on, that has to tell you something. Like, it's more than just one guy.
Yeah, I think it's just, I don't know. It's just another shit. No, you're a fan. It is what it is. Again, for those of you new to the channel, just because I sit in front of the camera and I've got the account, like, this isn't just a I think I'm right, everyone else is wrong kind of situation. These are just my opinions. Most of the time, I'm just babbling about nothing. This is y'all's channel. I'm just here throw out the topics and facilitate the conversation. Let you guys tell me what you think. Dylan's here to kind of balance out my ridiculous personality with his very composed, mature personality. This is like Deadpool and Wolverine here. You can make your choice which one's which. But it's just, you got to balance it out. And we love having Dylan on here. But Dylan's here because I respect his opinion, and he's a massive United fan, and he's got a lot of smart things to say. And we're going to be taking Manchester by storm when we go there in December, baby girl.
Yeah.
Happen. I'm just in it for the Christian Eriksen nonsense, to be honest with you. It's going to make it. Oh man, just put on your underwear, man. It's about to get lit up. Niche fan says, I just want to say thank you for doing the stream. It's been, well, thank you for being here, man. This is your guys' channel. Like, it's like the main page of the channel. It says fan opinion first, always. I'm here for you guys. You guys make this channel what it is. You make this community what it is. You guys have grown it to over 2.5K subscribers just over a year. I would love to get the 3K before the season starts. I put out that promise the other day, and it's a challenge, really. If we get this to 3K before the season starts, I will do another giveaway. Haven't done one of those in a while, but I will do one. I'll get you. The giveaway will be one of this year's shirts of your choice, and I'll send it straight to you from the United Store. Yes, I will buy it from the United Store for you guys. But yeah, that'll be the giveaway. So best way to get involved in that is, again, keep liking the videos, keep subscribing, keep sharing them, get involved in the chat, everything. So, but that's my promise to you guys. You can hold me to it, and Dylan is a witness now as well. So, Dylan, you won the first giveaway on the channel back way back before we really like knew each other a ton, but when the channel had like -1 subscriber. I did a giveaway. I don't remember what it was now, but it was a while ago. But
it was the Rio shirt.
Oh yeah, it was that Rio Ferdinand shirt. Yeah, it was brand new too. Well, like, it wasn't new, but it was, tags and everything.
I'm afraid to wear it now. I don't want to ruin it.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you, but you do whatever you want with it, man. You want it. Jay says the board's job is to manage the staff in all different departments and to manage the stadium. The board is failing if that they own the club. It's their job. Yeah, but the medical staff has been like this for years. I just think it needs to be something that we look at next. Yeah, cool stadium, cool this and that, but we need to get rid of these assholes. Niche says, bye. I'll come back in the stream. No problem, man. Big up. Thanks for stopping by. Agile Beast, better late than never. Big up, my guy. Good to see you again. Hope you're doing well. We're really just wrapping up, Agile. So at least it's not like Lionheart. She rolls in literally right as we're saying goodbye usually. So that was the Axel Twanzebe stuff. Wanted to get Dylan's thoughts on that. Like you're saying, precedence. I see every side of this. Does Axel have a case? Yeah. Is our medical staff shit? Yes. Am I worried about a precedence? I think other clubs should be worried about a precedence too, to be honest.
And I'd look at Chelsea with Mason Mount's injuries that carried over. They should be worried about that.
Yeah, because I'm not paying for that shit. He can go sue Chelsea if he wants to. We bought you broken, bro. It's not our fault. You're already broken when you got here, man. I'm not dealing with that shit. So I'm going to take that off the screen now. So what do you make of this report too, that the Fraud Five are only allowed to train after the rest of the squad and the coaches are gone now? The Fraud Five, if you guys are unaware, is the Rashford, Anthony, Sancho, Garnacho, and Tyrell Malacia, the Fraud Five.
I mean, Amorim sending a message. It's his team, and he's not going to tolerate their behavior, how they've presented. I feel bad for Malacia. I mean, nothing's really worked for him. This was not a move that he should have. Probably should have okayed, but you're going to United on it, and gives you that chance. But the other ones, it's like, come on, guys, you've had enough chances. Rashford, you've had enough chances. Garnacho, you've had enough chances. Sancho has definitely had enough chances.
Big up, Jay.
I get it. You're trying to keep that move, but
Well, and this is the thing. This is an example of Ineos. They are backing Amorim. Like, backing just doesn't mean signing players. Backing is this situation. If there are players that don't fit, if there's issue with you and a player, Ineos have backed him. Like we've loaned out Rashford, we've allowed you to drop Garnacho, we've loaned out Antony and whatnot. We're allowing you to take this route with these players and basically exiling them from all first team activities. No one's calling Amorim a bully. Everybody called Ten Hag a bully when this happened with Sancho, but I think it's because our Amorim seems to be a little bit more likable. See, the Ten Hag's personality was always his biggest setback, which isn't really his fault. But so they are backing him by doing this. This is backing him. Now, just because we can't sell these players, that is what it is. That's not an Ineos thing. That's just the players are on high wages and shit. No one can afford it. But is this a smart move? Does this make these 5 players a little bit more prone to want to get out of here faster and maybe do a little bit more on their end? Or does this hurt us by basically putting up a billboard that says we're desperate to sell them?
I kind of think it hurts us not only for I mean, I get why they're doing that. It makes total sense. But the hurting part is it's going to make it more difficult to sell because everybody knows we want to get rid of them. So they're not necessarily going to give us the best prices. But the other thing I look at with hurting us is if we don't sell these guys, are we just going to continue to exile them? Are we going to try to bring them back into the first team and say, hey, come on, join us again? Is that what's going to happen? Are they going to be pressured to do that? Like Rashford, big presence in the UK with all of his initiatives, him not playing, how's that going to go over with some parts of the fan base? I think it's the game that has to be done, but it's a dangerous game.
Yeah. And it's been done. It just is what it is now. You can't undo it really. I think it hurts us now to undo it stuff. It hurts us if we're stuck with these players again. What I don't want is whatever happens with none of these players can go out on loan. They have to go. No more loans with obligations because that means fuck all apparently. No more loans with an options or nothing. I'm shocked that Garnacho is still here. He's on low wages. He had a good season. He's a good age. Yeah, his attitude is shit, but you'd have to think that $50K a week is appealing to a lot of clubs. Villa definitely need to find a way to get him in there if they can. If he wants to stay in the Premier League, Villa seems like the best fit in my opinion. Or Chelsea. I read Chelsea could be interested still too, because they just sold Madueke. They can't really do anything with Mikhailo Modric. They probably need someone for that left hand side. Would you how do you feel about selling players to Premier League rivals?
I don't fancy it.
No.
I prefer not to. Just because I don't like strengthening rivals. But if that's what we have to do to get rid of them, then it's what we have to do. So.
Yeah, I feel like if we're selling them, it's either they're not good enough for one way or the other. So if that's the case, to me, it doesn't seem like it does help a rival if they're detrimental to us. I mean, we did that with Sancho, and it's not exactly like he helped Chelsea. Rashford, he helped Villa, but I mean, it's Villa. It's not Manchester United. It is what it is. And so it's interesting. I mean, I see all sides. I don't think there's a right or wrong. They just what people prefer. At this point, I don't care about that. I'm more focused on us, and a big part of this rebuild is going to be clearing a lot of this deadwood, getting rid of some of these personalities. It's one of the first things Amorim did at Sporting when he came in. It was just their personalities. If they're people who aren't rowing in the same direction, we need to just get them off the boat, basically. Which I don't have a problem with personally, but Mark Harris jumping in the chat. Big up, Mark. Welcome to the channel. United expecting a Rolls Royce in the transfer. United hold my beer, a 1985 Kia on bricks. Well, I mean, if like I said, if this is the plan, it is a very weird plan. But pick up, man. So I don't know what's going to happen. I put it in the poll in the chat to see what you guys think about this kind of stuff. Does exiling the Fraud 5 hurt us or help us? 100% of you say it helps us. So
I hope so.
The eyes have it there.
I hope it does.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's one of those things. Andre says the player power has to stop. Yeah. I do think we have turned a corner in terms of player power. I think football in general has turned a corner in player power. Yeah. And even the way I see it happening is you look at the way the players are just behaving now. So many more players are just jumping on social media rather than doing their talking on the pitch. Mbappe literally just did something on Instagram laughing at PSG. Like, bro, what? They basically funded your life, and you are
Yeah.
just like, that's weird. Like, I don't know. And I feel like when you see that kind of stuff happen, the people who speak out a lot like that and those are the ones who, like, you can tell that they're grasping for power now. They're trying to manifest
Mhm.
some sort of power, even if it's on social media. Maybe it's just a young person thing, but I don't know. But Mark Harris says Garnacho and Rashford in training, I would ban them and make them mopping a cancer ward. Well, they're training after everybody leaves, apparently, is what I've read. But we'll see if that helps us or hurt us. I guess the proof in the pudding will
Mhm.
be in the eating. But that's pretty much the news from the last week since last you and I spoke, man. If you guys are late to the stream, Dylan and I are taking the Kickabout on the road in December. He and I are traveling to Manchester for back-to-back Premier League games towards the end of September. So we will be doing that. Of course, we will be checking in while we're there. We will be doing some reactions after those matches. We will be jumping on. I don't really do the vlog thing. Like you guys are not going to see me with a selfie stick walking around Manchester. We'll take photos. We'll do a sit down like Justin and I did to get you guys' thoughts. So keep a lookout for that. Obviously, it's a ways away. We're still in the planning process, but we've locked in the Airbnb. We've locked in the tickets for the match. We're keeping an eye out on the academy schedule. We'll be doing that, and then we'll go from there. But it is Dylan's first time, so I'm happy to see. And as you can see, the guy bears a striking resemblance to Christian Eriksen. So I'm fully anticipating to get mobbed by tourists when that happens. So, and I'm here for it. So. But if you guys weren't able to catch the live, leave a comment. You guys know I check the comments. Make sure you guys are liking the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We will do a giveaway if we reach 3K before the season starts. Not just when we reach 3K. I want to reach 3K before we kick off at the start of the season. So that is the challenge I'm putting out to you, but it's up to you guys. It's all in your hands. Dylan, say your final thoughts on the video. It's been a long day.
It has been a long day. Sean, thank you again for having me on here. Everybody, great show tonight. As always, you guys are awesome. Really love talking with you. And I look forward to seeing you next week on Kickabout.
Yes, we will be here next week. Hopefully, I've got some personal stuff going on, so my schedule could be a little up in the air next week. So we will see what happens there. But plan on that happening. I'll let you guys know if it's not going to happen. But until next time, you guys, thank you for stopping by. Thank you for everybody getting involved. Really good chat tonight. Like a lot of really good opinions, some new faces as well. I will be back, obviously, throughout the week to chat about the latest and greatest news. Until then, you guys, take it easy. Enjoy the rest of your night, and we will see you guys on the next one. Later.
See you, everyone.